Mr. George Boaty. Mr. George Boaty.
Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
The one and only George Roger Boaty, and a very warm welcome to you all to this Wednesday night live. And it is nothing less than a sheer orgasmic joy to be here with you lovely people tonight. I'm so glad. I've had a great day, really positive day. Hope you have too. And well, tell me all about your day. I would love to hear all about it. Spare me no detail. I'd like to know what you had for lunch. I would like to know what you had for dinner or what you're having for supper. And I hope you're all terribly well. And yeah, it's me, Boaty, and I'm going to be pouring myself into your heads directly for the next 57 minutes from here, Windy Bum in the Peak District National Park. And how are you all? I've really had a good day, and I so hope you have too. And I just want to hear all of your news. I can't remember what the hell we were talking about last night, but we can talk about it some more if you like. I mean, I do remember that we banged on about Tracy's knockers for a while. But let's see who we've got. GUU's hopes we have a bloody good one, and he's not going to be here, apart from when he typed that, and then he buggered off. But it was kind of him to pop in. Barry's here, that guy from SETI Alpha 5, and he bids a cheery good evening to me and all else who are here for tonight's joy. And I like to think that joy would be very much in inverted commas. Neil, the fantastic Neil, a.k.a. the Gibbonatore. Il Gibbonatore, vedi mare quanto mera spera tanto sentimento alla spandalo e matta tenniata. Says, hello all, hope we're all good. I hope we're all good too. How's everyone's day been? Well, it's a jolly good question, Neil. I wish I thought of it myself. But yeah, come on, everybody. We're all friends here. Share how your day has been. If it's been a good one, share the joy. If your day's been a bit pants, we are here to cheer you up because we care about you. You're one of us. You're one of our tight little inner scrotum. And every one of you is incredibly important to the whole. We are like, I'll tell you what we're like, our little community. We are like the winner of a game of Trivial Pursuit, right? Now, we are all winners in the lottery of life because we've got a full cheese board thing. And you are, the channel is the empty cheese board thing that you whiz around the board, and you guys are all the cheeses, the top of the range ones that you have to land on one of the special doings and answer a question to get one of you to pop into the cheese board thing. Actually, it's more like one of those fairground rides, isn't it? One of the ones where the centrifugal whizzer, where you stand up against the edge and it goes in all different directions, and then you're sick when you get off it. Do you know? I always swore I would never go on one of those things. Do you know what I mean? The centrifugal whizzer. It starts off horizontally like that, and you stand up in a little cage. Look, I'll show you here. So you stand up in a little cage right at the edge like that, and it goes whizzy, 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 whizzy until you're bloody centrifugaled up against the bloody edge of the doings. And then it goes like vertical, and nobody falls out because of the joys of centrifugal force. And I swore I would. You were never in a million years going to get me on one of those things. And one day, God, I must have been desperate for something to do. I took Lise and the two kids, Kirsty and Paul. I took them to Butlins Minehead, a place where I went as a child, not through choice, and swore that I would never go again. But we needed a day out, and there wasn't all that much that was the next time I took them to Parc Asterix in Paris, which was quite a large improvement, quite frankly. But we went to Butlins Minehead for the day, and God almighty, I mean, I felt so shameful at making them endure this, although they appeared to enjoy it, bless them. And when we went to the fairground bit, there was a centrifugal whizzer, and they wanted to go on it. And I said, go for it. But they wouldn't go on unless I went on with them. And good stepdad that I was terrified. I was peppering myself. I went on the bloody thing. Bloody hell. Why am I talking about that? How did I get from Neil Gibbons to that? I mean, why has Neil made me think of a centrifugal terror device? I've got absolutely no idea. I think Neil would have struggled to get in it because his shoulders would have been too big for the metal cage thingy. Anyway, Jimmy Quinn is here and says, good evening, Boaty and all. Oh, hello. The G. Moss is here, the general master of shithousery, General Cheeseburger himself. Says, evening all. Steve Colg is with us, and all because the lady loves milk tray. 2, right. Hello, Boaty, says Sophie, our lovely Sophie, chili sauce launcher. Oh, how are you? You look snazzy. Well, that's very kind of you. And hello to everyone else. Hope you're all well. Jesus Christ, says Neil, it's James Bond. Basildon Bond, 003.5. Licensed to fold paper into a paper plane. Oh, dear. Jimmy Quinn says, Boaty is dressed like Sanderson man, Orson Welles. Oh, and Jimmy, yeah, great minds think alike, more like Basildon Bond. There you go. Barry says, Boaty, why are you dressed as James Bond? I've just got in from work. That's why. And things have changed, haven't they? Had a really good night tonight. Had a big party of retired firefighters in, and they were great lads. They're semi-regulars, but I'm going to make them fully regulars because we had a really good crack tonight. Fed them really well, and we all did shots at the bar before I'd let them out. We had a great laugh. It was really good. He looks more like Dracula, says Jimmy Quinn. Yeah, well, that's the Widow's Peak for you, isn't it? Barry says, I had raw vegetables and... Hello. Right, this is interesting. Barry had ear vegetables and Tina for lunch. Gosh, ear vegetables and Tina. You pervert, Barry. You pervert. I don't know who Tina is. And I dread to think what you stuck in her ear. Dear God. Unfortunately, Barry's having tikka masala for supper, which is a lot less perverted, and we approve of that. More like Ray Reardon, says Barry. Oh, hello, Mustard's here. Hello, Muggies, and a jolly good evening to Mustard. And I am going to say a heartfelt thanks to Captain Mustard later on, because he has done lovely things over the last couple of days. Does anyone know what he's banging on about, says Cheeseburger? Well, I bloody don't, for a start. He's dyed his hair black to match. Are you having a laugh? It's only because it's cut short. I'm as grey can be. Look. I've got the full winter plumage on. It just looks black from a distance because it's cut short. Oh, God. Oh, you lot of hard work. You really are. Oh, excuse me. Bear with. Oh, God, here come the hiccups. Good morning, all. Sticky Wall, says Ross. Dinosaur Dad. James Wilson is with us. Hello, all. Stephen Manning is with us. Good evening, all. And James asks, has anyone listened to Ringo Starr's new EP? A great selection of Ringo's 4 new songs. Well, I haven't. Mark Prasad is here and says, evening, Boaty. In my experience, children K. I have a feeling that he might have pressed return before that sentence was entirely finished. But if anybody would like to try and finish that sentence, do feel free. I expect he'll finish it himself shortly. Hey, Cheesy, says Ross. Shit, the Grim Reaper's here. Oh, dear. Neil says, oh, that's a true fact. I've tried 4 times to get in those bloody rides and can't get in them. Oh, well, that's the problem, mate. You're too buff, aren't you? And I clearly wasn't back then. There were a couple of roller coasters they've not been able to get the doings over me on. I went on them anyway. I said, if I die, I die. Oh, Barry says it sounds like Huss Enterprise at Alton Towers. I do remember vaguely that there was one at Alton Towers way back in the day. Oh, hello, my mate Chris. Chris Mills, all the way from Australia. He'll be back home now, of course, after visiting the UK a week or so ago. Morning, all. Day has just started for me. I'm on a rail replacement bus at the moment on a magical mystery tour of the Melbourne suburbs, as our train line is closed for the week. Oh, bugger. That's now that's more of a blow than it might sound. Because Chris showed me the route of his morning commute on the train and told me about it, and it sounds fabulous. It's all the way along the coastline from near where he lives down into Melbourne city centre. So having to go the nasty route through the burbs on a nasty, smelly bus must be bloody miserable. Mustard's multitasking. He's just finishing his editing. Jolly good. And Chris continues. The driver's lost his way and the diagram of his arse and his elbow from the way things are going. Oh, dear. Cheeseburger says they never send about delivering curry like that. Yeah, I have had a slight change of role, although you wouldn't bloody think so, because actually I did go out delivering curry like this tonight because I haven't got a bloody driver. Oh, God, don't. I've got no idea how it's going to work. I've got a nasty feeling that I'm going to, well, no, that can't happen. I'm desperately advertising for drivers. The idea is now, as you know, that I'm running the show. I'm front about, blah, 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 blah. I think, to be honest, what it's going to end up as, we're never going to get another driver. And I'm just going to end up being the best dressed delivery driver in the UK. Oh, dear. Mark says, sorry, the finger was a bit quick. Well, we've all been there. What I meant to say was that children just love doing anything with their parents, in my experience, with four, two of each. What, children or parents? Oh, children, I suppose. Big mission tonight, Mr. Bond, says Neil. I'm waiting to see what Q has fitted to your TF. And Neil goes on to say, well done, Mustard, on fixing Miss Boo. Yeah, that is one of today's massive positives, and there's a few. Miss Boo has my Land Rover Freelander Series 1 facelift TD4 HSE, is now MOT'd, a brand spanking new MOT. And it's thanks to Captain Mustard. So thank you, Captain Mustard. And I can't wait for her to come home. Any hole is a goal, says Barry. And he's talking about Tina and the ear vegetables. Cheeseburger says he's as grey as a badger's crotch. See, I told you. Here's a question from Neil. What mods from James Bond cars would we have in our own cars? And Cheeseburger weighs straight in. General Master of Shithousery. Neil, I'd have an ejector seat in case I meet Boaty. Thanks for that, Cheeseburger. I don't think you'd be alone, actually. Oh, dear. James says, I think an ejector seat only works with a sunroof, though, to be honest. Good point. Machine guns in the nose is what Barry would go for. And Cheeseburger says, James, I have a panoramic roof, so I'm okay. Yeah, but a lot of those panoramic roofs, they're just glass panels. They don't actually open, do they? So if you've got one of the ones that doesn't open, an ejector seat is going to give you a headache. I've had a car that had the oil spill and smoke screen fitted from factory. So did I. An Austin Allegro 1.5 Super. Ross is sympathising with Chris. Says it's a bit of a dreary day. It's a hard life. Because you're from kind of the same part of the world, aren't you? Right, jolly good. And I've caught up with the comments, so you'd better get some more banging in before I start walloping on about some nonsense. At least if I'm reading out your comments, there's a chance I'm reading something acceptable. I mean, if you don't comment and I just read out the stuff that's going on in my head, we're not going to, that's not going to end well. Steve Cole says, being able to go underwater in a car sounds good. Cheeseburger says, my panoramic roof opens, but the aperture is very small. I wouldn't fit through it. Well, thank God you're not talking about your wife. That's all I can say to that, Cheeseburger. So there have been 3 car positives. Oh, hang on. Sophie's got one. James says the invisible cloak would be best. My perfect car chase would be me driving an MG ZT V8, being chased by an S-Type R, too close in nature to each other and against each other. Well, I mean, you wouldn't stand a chance. The S-Type would piddle all over you. What are you having for supper, Boaty? What a very good question, Sophie. Well, tonight, Matthew, I will be... What am I having for supper tonight? Curry. It's always a fair bit, isn't it? Curry from the curry freezer. So that is some staff curry sauce. I've got some tandoori chicken and rice in the fridge. And I've got roti knocking around somewhere. Now, I was going to talk to you about car positives, wasn't I? Obviously, Miss Boo getting her MOT is a massive plus. And Neil is weighing in on the S-Type versus ZT-V8. The S-Type has more power, higher top speed, and tons more torque than the ZT. You would be caught in 5 seconds depending on the driver. Yeah, absolutely. I've driven the supercharged S-Type, and It's a bit of a flying machine. And I've driven a ZTV8 and it's kind of not. Not in standard trim anyway. I mean, you bear in mind that the MG ZTV8 is called the ZT260, and it's called the ZT260 because it puts that 260 brake, and that's not a massive amount in, talking about higher end sporty things. And yeah, an S-Type R would just, I mean, it not even in the same league. James says the S-Type wouldn't though, would it? The S-Type is supercharged, and get an MG ZT supercharged, and even a standard ZTV8 could be close. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. And Neil responds, I've driven a supercharged ZTV8 with 470 brake. That was stunning, but it needs a supercharger to make proper power. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I've driven Liz's, which was putting out 470, 480, something like that. But in standard trim, yeah, they're not compatible. Hello, children of the realm, says Stephen S. Paul, who's joined us from across the Henning Pond. Now then. Other car positives. Miss Boo, new MOT, set for the winter. Brilliant. Very, very. Oh, Neil, is that roof box still needing collecting or whatever? I've kind of lost track with what's happening with that. Just sprung to mind now that Miss Boo's MOT'd. What's it? Oh, yeah, other positives. Right, well, I cracked on a bit with Stigbert today. I dragged Stigbert up from down the bottom where he's languished, and I gave him a wish-wash-wash. His bat was flat, so I got him going with my Top-Don JS 1200, which did the job absolutely perfectly. Started first turn, bless him. The dodgy tyre that needs replacing anyway had gone flat, so I pumped that up. And I started trying to get things sorted to get him ready for his MOT. And I feel very good for having done so, quite honestly. So, I mean, he's going to have to see a garage because there's no real way around it. I'm going to have to get the ABS sensor sorted. For those who don't know, I bought everything that he needed. I bought it off the wrong person. It was knackered, it was broken, it was badly removed. None of the ancillary parts were usable. So it was a much more expensive repair than it should have been, because I bought the thing on the understanding that the thing and all of the things with it were all fully working things. And guess what? They weren't. So the garage that fitted it, my lads down at Ladywood, they had to replace all of the ancillary parts, which cost a lot of money, and it took more labour to fit. So all of the budget that I had for repairing Stigbert, it went just on that. And so then it turned out that the ABS sensor on the thing is knackered as well. And there just wasn't any money left to sort it. And that's why he's been sitting, bless him. So, yeah, God. So the ABS is going to have to be done. I can pull the ABS fuse, the old 30 amp fuse from under the bonnet. And that means that he brakes perfectly. All right, you've got no ABS, but I can drive. I don't need ABS. I understand how to cadence brake. I don't, as useful as it is, it's not necessary for me. I can work around a non-ABS car. I can brake hard without locking up. Cadence braking, it's not difficult. But of course, you pull the fuse and it puts both the ABS light on and the brake warning light on. So in terms of MOT passing, and bear in mind that Stigbert has no MOT, that's not going to cut the mustard. So the ABS is going to have to be sorted. Now, I've put P-Scan on Stigbert. and the fault code showing is the wrong number of teeth on the ABS sensor. So either it's, if we're lucky, it's picked up a bit of shit and it's detecting that as an extra tooth, or if it's unlucky, then the thing that I bought from the wrong person is just totally knackered and one of the teeth is broken, in which case it's going to have to be replaced. So that is a bugger, but that's going to have to be done. Now, obviously, there's an issue with the airbag because the seat airbag deployed. I managed to get to the ridiculously placed glove box in the passenger compartment, pulled out the 5 amp SRS fuse, light off, job done, no problem. Again, it means you're not going to have an airbag, but again, I don't particularly need one. I've driven stupidly quick cars from the 70s and 80s that didn't have airbags, and I'm still alive. And I'm now so old that if I died in a ball of flame in some incredible car accident, well, you know, I've had a good innings, as they say. So I'm not particularly bothered about that. I just wanted to get through an MOT. The windscreen needs doing, of course. That will be an insurance job. But he's up, he's running. I drove him up and down the private road. So that's good. I'm feeling more positive about that. I feel that, so Boo's done. That's one ticked off. Stigba is now kind of on the way. I'm going to drag him up again tomorrow. I'm going to give him a bit more cleaning. I'm going to book the book the windscreen through the insurance, and that'll take care of all of my spending money from the end of this month, because it's a 75 quid excess, or a 90 quid excess, or 100 quid excess, or something like that. Hopefully it was 75, which, you know, not a lot of money to most people, quite a lot of money to me. That's about a month's worth of spending money, really. But hey ho. And then hopefully Stigba can be sorted over the next few weeks somehow. I might have to do a bit of jiggery pokery. And then that only leaves Brian to sort. And then we're all sorted. Everything's on track. And I won't be firefighting, hopefully, with big problems. It'll just be maintenance, gradually improving them, keeping on top of them, routine maintenance, all of that sort of thing, hopefully, please God. And then hopefully over the next 12 or 18 months, the YouTube channel will grow and there'll be a little more YouTube money trickling in. The little car hobby business with Mustard and the Unknown Banker, hopefully that will grow a little bit and there'll be a little bit of money trickling in. And hopefully the restaurant will become even more successful, thanks to me. And that will bring a little bit more money trickling in, which means that I can keep the fleet in tip-top condition, enjoy them, go to Malta, go to the real Travelodge for £33.99 a night and blag a free breakfast. And hopefully in a year's time, I can buy a 2004 L322 Range Rover in Vogue SE spec. And hopefully I can buy one good enough that it will drive all the way home without breaking down. And then I can park it up outside. It'll break down then, obviously, and I couldn't afford to tax it or put fuel in it, but I can sit in it and go brum, brum, and look around at the Range Roveriness of it, and that will all be wonderful. Now then, where did I get to? Diddly-do, diddly-do. Hang on. Oh, God. Oh, there's been a few more comments coming. Here we are. I'm thinking, says Sophie, to get some black car mechanics trousers, and I want to get into cars. Well, you already get into them. I've seen you get into Neil's ZTT, and you got into my F and my TF. But I know exactly what you mean, Soph, and good on you. I'm not some old dinosaur that think cars are or should be an exclusively male domain. I'm all for women being interested in cars, and even all more for them I'm so sorry. And even more for them getting hands-on with the cars. Brilliant. Bring it on. I would love to have a partner who was really into cars. That would be brilliant. Russ says, Chris, hey mate, what do you drive in our neck of the woods? Oh, he's got quite the fleet. He showed me his cars. They're very nice. Neil says, if you think a ZT190 is only 70 brake from a V8 and the engine is a lot heavier, you would be better off with a 190. Well, yeah, I mean, I know quite a few people who have or have owned a V8, and they've mostly all said that the 190 is an all-round better bet, an all-round better car. Unless you go mad with the V8 like Liz has, but I've got a real soft spot for the 190. Oh, and I must tell you my third positive, because that came as a total shock to me. I'll get through some comments first. Yes, the roof box is waiting for you to pick it up and has been for 3 weeks, says Neil. Bloody hell. I've got to get I've got to get a day free to get down to Stoke. When is he available? Is he available weekdays or does he go to work? When do I need to do it, or do I need to do it at a weekend? Gosh. I can't wait. I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to get the Freelander all properly dressed with a Land Rover roof box and all of the campy stuff in there. And so that frees up the back. And it's just going to look awesome. And of course, Neil and I and whoever else fancies coming along, Sophie, Joe, and anybody else, we're going to go camping in it next year. And it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious. That will be the video that breaks the internet. All of us at 2 o'clock in the morning, lagging drunk, being thrown out of some campsite. Oh, cheeseburger, you're worth your weight in gold. I don't know about James Bond, but my dog keeps doing odd jobs in the garden. Oh, dear. Sophie's just been chilling today and looking for jobs, so trying my best. Oh, you're looking for work, my lovely? Oh, gosh, good luck with that. Don't worry, says Neil. He's getting a visit from me in a few weeks. I'm going down to get some 190 carriers off him. Oh, right. Ah, okay. Right, I know who you're talking about now. And he doesn't know. Oh, right. Well, bloody good on you, mate. I mean, he had your trousers down, didn't he? And the more I hear, the more people I hear are not entirely happy with the nice gentleman's service, shall we say? So yeah, good man. 2 right, there should be 3 now. I'd like to come down and see that. For those who don't know what we're talking about, then Neil had a far less satisfactory experience with a certain company than I did. Simone's here, Hooked on Classics. Good evening to you. Cheeseburger says, Neil, the V8 reminds me of my Mark II Titty. It was a 3.2 V6, fat, bloated and tail happy. The 2-litre turbo was the better car. Oh, there we are. Cheeseburger says, Boaty put the P-scan on Stiggy and the code read, I'm not reading that word out. No, it didn't. Well, it kind of did. James says, if you look at a standard V8 S-Type and a standard 75 V8, they have similar power. So the S-Type ain't loads better. Plus the 75/ZT is the better built car. Hands down. Right, okay. Adam's here, pure evil. Evening, everyone. Oh, I hope so, Neil. Yeah, ZT's on the Snake Pass in December. That sounds bloody good to me. You know you're going to lose, don't you? You know that your little 1.8 stands no chance against the mighty Stigbert. Just saying, just putting it out there. Actually, it'd be really interesting to see. I think on paper, I know I'm really keen to drive Neil's car, the 1.8 turbo, because most people that I've listened to or heard or whatever have said that it really is kind of the pick of the bunch. It's it's so much more frugal, so much better on fuel, and the performance is still up there. But I think the performance is leveled against a 160, isn't it? So I think the 190 probably still edges it on paper, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see, the handling dynamics and whatnot, and on the, you can have figures on paper, but that doesn't translate to figures on the road, which is my third positive that I'm going to talk to you about. But yeah, we totally need to do that. Ross still can't see Simone's comments. Diddly do. Video title. The name's Boaty, licensed to chill your wine. We'll screenshot that. Yeah, do please come up with a title for this live stream. It is your job. I had a quote to get my sills fixed on Coney today, say Simone, 400 quid. Probably about par for the course, isn't it? I paid, actually, that is what I paid for Sir Arnold to have his sills done both sides. Thanks, Boaty. As they say, get your hands dirty. It has to be done so. That sounds fair, Simone, says Cheeseburger. I paid 300 quid for a smart repair on my bumper. Simone says, I like the XF, and that's in response to a comment from James, who said that the XF looks more like 75 spiritual successor than the S-Type. Yeah, okay, can't argue with that. But Simone does wish it had a proper handbrake. And they are, well, I don't know about the XF, but the S-Type handbrake was certainly prone to failure. The electronic handbrake, of course. Have the floodwaters subsided around your way now, say Stephen? Yeah, pretty much they have, yeah. Things are still a bit damp, but today I didn't really see anything residually resembling a flood on the roads, at least. I can't speak for the agricultural land. I'm sure there are still lakes present around there, but the roads now are fine. Oh dear. What's a proper handbrake, asked Cheeseburger? Haven't had one for 15 years. Well, that's because you're all posh. And Soap says, I can't wait to have Momo. Yeah, life without Momo is no fun. And getting drinks done. Used to have latte. Oh, right, jolly good. Simone says, Cheeseburger, the quote to get my whole car painted is 1,500 quid. Oh, God. Oh, bless you. Yeah, it is tough out there, so oh, fingers crossed for you, love. Keep batting away. Neil says, I worked it out the other day. He charged me 1,200 quid in bits. Oh, he charged me 1,200 quid in bits he didn't do to my car after the crash. The only reason it went in there was so it could be finished 100%, and it came out worse. Oh, dear. How about a drive against the ZS 180, says Mustard? Ah, now that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Well, I mean, I can tell you without even driving it that in a real world A to B test, the 180 would whittle all over the 190. because it's just such an amazing handling chassis. And that, right, I'm going to tell you about the third positive. I need to get it out there. Right, as you know, my darlings, a little while ago, I bought a rather well-known Rover 45 V6 Connoisseur. Now then, I bought that car because it was rare. I liked the fact that it was a white elephant, that it shouldn't have been made, that it was a bit silly. It was the right colour. It filled a gap on the fleet because I didn't have that engine on the fleet. I thought it was a reasonable bet for an appreciating asset. And I won't lie, I liked the fact that it was owned by Joseph Lloyd and that it's appeared on a lot of YouTube channels. So for all of those reasons, I liked it. And there are things I like about the 45. I like the driving position very much indeed. I like the handling, I like the steering. I also like the fact it had cruise control and heated seats and so on. But I'll let you into a secret. I didn't love driving it. I haven't loved driving it. It's just been meh, and I haven't really got it, and it hasn't excited me. So as a car, I've liked it. As a driving experience, it's been all right. And I don't know what happened tonight. I honestly don't know what happened tonight. I took it to work today, right? Turned the wheels over after the floods, whatnot. I took it to work tonight. And tonight, for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I can't imagine the car has changed in any way, shape or form. But tonight, everything just clicked. And I fell head over heels in love with the way that the car drives. Now, maybe I've just suddenly learned the way that the gearbox works, understood what the engine likes and what it doesn't like. Maybe I've just suddenly realized, or even accidentally figured out how to drive. Bloody hell, I've had so much fun tonight. Honestly, I was kind of dreading Mustard test driving the car because I've just thought, well, it's a bit pants, isn't it, really? I mean, it's just a bit pants. But after tonight, God, I totally got it tonight. I've had a ball. It is a brilliant car. You just need to drive it in the right way. And when you drive it in the right way, it's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. That 2-litre KV6 it's so willing, it's so revvy, it just begs to rev. The automatic gearbox that should be a pleasure destroyer, it totally isn't. They've got it set up even in economy mode. Drive it right, and that gearbox is set up absolutely brilliantly. Put it in the manual mode, even more fun. Put it in sports mode, even more fun. It's brilliant. And the handling and the steering is just sublime. It's way, way, way the best in class. And I would bet any amount of money now that if you give me any real world A to B test, right, that car is the fastest on the fleet. Yeah, that car that everybody sneers at, that everybody looks at the figures on paper and says, oh, 2-litre KV6, that Jatco automatic 5-speed gearbox. It's got a 0 to 60 of whatever it is on paper, 9 seconds, something like that. Right, in the real world, driven properly, that car is a fucking flying machine. It really is. I mean, it revs beautifully. You can throw it into corners. The steering is inch perfect, pitch perfect. The chassis is sublime. In the real world, that car is quicker than Sheeson. And I've always said that of all of my cars in the real world, Sheeson is the quickest. That car is quicker. That pseudo semi-executive saloon, it is a flying machine. And it is a hoot and a holler to drive. It is amazing. I'm so in love with that car. And I don't know how or why it's happened, because literally up to tonight, it's been nah. And now all the plans have changed. I can't wait to have more fun in it. Now, I've been planning the trip for the 6th of November, first Monday of the month, remember? My little road trip madness, probably to. So I've been planning this. And whenever it is, the 6th of November, is it a week on Monday? Something like that? 2 weeks on Monday, maybe? So I've been planning the trip, and I thought I got it kind of finalized in my mind. I've not even booked the hotel yet. I haven't had the money to do it. But that doesn't stop me planning things in my mind. And the trip I've got planned now, and it changed a couple of nights ago. I got, very kindly, I got a voucher for a beef eater. And that is going to tie into this road trip, the next road trip, the November, first Monday of the month road trip. Now, it's going to be Rill again, probably, the Travelodge at Rill Seafront, because I liked it. I know Rill is naff, but I liked it. I liked the fact that I could see the sea, I could hear the sea, I could smell the sea the next morning when I got up. I like the fact that I can steal breakfast and Wi-Fi. And the Wi-Fi is quite good, and it's close enough to home that I can do a whiz back on the Tuesday. So it's going to be there again, but it's going to be a very different route getting there. And I was planning to do it in Mingebag, because the route was going to be to head over the Cat and Fiddle, the road I'm sure most of you know, between Buxton and Macclesfield, and then to make my way across country, avoiding motorways, heading south of Wrexham Way, and then heading up to Llangollen, and then doing the Horseshoe Pass, and then making my way up to Rill through the back roads, going up that way. And that was the plan. Now, that's been slightly refined. I found a beef eater en route, so I'm going to have a posh, well, pseudo posh lunch at the beef eater, set me up for the day, and then the rest of it is the beef eater is oh god, the one I found is, oh Christ Almighty, I can't remember now. Something to do with something that begins with a C, but it looks as if it's in about the right place, and it'll be at about the right time. And then it'll be on and the Horseshoe Pass, and end up in Rill, and I'll probably go and spend a bit of the evening in Llandudno, maybe have a drink in the Grand Hotel, that sort of thing, and then head back to the hotel, do another live stream in the hotel room with you guys, get very drunk, and then try and blag a free breakfast the next morning. I'm rather looking forward to it. But the thing that has changed, I'm not doing it in Mingebag. No, I'm doing it in the most fun card I've got, and that is now, it's there, pole position. It's Dicker Dum Dum. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And who knew? I certainly didn't. I had no idea that it could be that much fun. And now it's just my favourite thing. Anyway, let's catch up with comments. Right, okay, jolly good. Oh, that would be good fun. Good idea, Neil. Paul, bring the ZS180 up the Snake Pass. Yeah, let's have a 3-car drive off. Well, actually, hopefully the ZS180 will be sold by then. But if it's not, then let's have a 3-car drive off. The 190 against the 190 against the whatever they call the 18T. What do they call that? I can't remember. But that would be a good, fun day. The 1.8 turbo is lovely, St. James. Mine was like a rocket. They were meant to have 200 brake from the factory, but were detuned to make the flagship V6 look better. I miss mine and should still have... Oh, it is the 160, Neil. Thank you very much. I miss mine and should still have it, but it's sadly gone. Oh dear. Well, let's do it. Okay, we are on the 160 versus 180 versus 190. Now then, who's going to come out on top in that one? Oh, on the snake pass as well. I reckon. Oh gosh, now. There's one section of the Snake Pass where I reckon the 190 would pull away from the other two. But for the rest of it, I reckon the 180 is going to be in a different league to either the 160 or the 190. But it would be a hell of a lot of fun to find out, wouldn't it? Let's do that. I've been looking at tuning it up a bit, says Neil to James. Looks like you can pull some decent power with a DCAT, max speeding rods, turbo, and a remap. You're looking about 220 brake all day long. Bloody hell. Gosh, dear. Simone says, I saw Dino Dad's comments on Simon's live the other day. Well, fill us in, Simone. I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Mine was standard, says James, talking about his 160, and zoomed down the motorway. The 45 1.8 is a bit different because it doesn't have a turbo, but the 45 is lighter, so the standard 1.8 is quicker. Neil says, with the V6 in the front, I don't know if it would be like my 400 with an L series, in that there's a lot of weight over the front axle. Wouldn't that affect the handling in a way? Yeah, but the handling was seriously tweaked to deal with that. And it would be interesting. It would be interesting. I'm interested in seeing the different way it delivers its power than the ZTT diesel. Any update on Stigbutt, Boaty asked Simone. Well, yeah, I gave you one earlier in this live stream. I worked on it only today, and things are moving, things are progressing, and hopefully Stiggy will be sorted before too long. The wheels are now in motion. And I will be working on it again tomorrow, even if I just fully charge the battery, give it a finish off properly washing it, and change the stereo. Because if I've changed the stereo, I've committed to doing everything else. Oh, now they're banging on about Audi titties. Oh, well, let's whiz through these. Okay, right, jolly good. My mate had a 3.2 V6 Quattro Mark 1 titty, says Neil, and that thing was so planted it was unreal. You could throw it into a corner and feel confident you were coming out the other end. Cheeseburger says, my wife had 3 Qashqais. She needed an SUV for work. Pretty bland, but popular. The Puma is a lot better. It killed the Fiesta, which is on the same chassis. James says, I tried manual mode in the 25 CVT I had, and it felt weird because I prefer manual in general, but putting an auto-straight CVT in manual mode with no clutch feels so weird, to be honest, to me. Feels brilliant to me. I mean, it's just straight sequential shifting. It's a brilliant, seamless bloody change. It's marvellous. Clutches are overrated, in my view. Oh, God, time's marching on, isn't it? Let's play through some comments. I think I've told you everything I need to. Diddly-do, 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 diddly-do. I love the horseshoe pass, says Mustard. I haven't done it for ages. In fact, God, I'm trying to think now. I was going to say that the last time I did the horseshoe pass was when I rode the National Hill Climb Championships. So in other words, the last time I did the horseshoe pass, it would have been on a bicycle in a national championship event. But I must have driven it since then. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember doing it. I've got a vague memory that I went a different way to Llandudno once, but I can't remember what car I was in. And I can't really remember the Horseshoe Pass, except that I can promise you I didn't win that national championships. God knows I was no climber. I was a sprinter and a rouleur. I mean, I rode the nationals because, well, it's expected of you, isn't it? And I'm pretty sure that the year the nationals were on the Horseshoe Pass, I think Chris Boardman won. In fact, I'm sure he did. And I'm pretty sure that he rode gears, which was incredibly unusual for a hill climb because you always rode a hill climb on fixed. But the Horseshoe Pass was so much longer and there were undulations that I think Chris rode gears. I think I did too, actually. I'm not going to tell you where I came in the event. That would be... to use the current maxims, I can tell you I didn't podium or I didn't medal, and you shouldn't use those terms. You know, they're not. I mean, that's just incorrect grammar, and I hate the fact that. But yeah, I wasn't in the top three. For those who don't know, the national championships, they are they are the best. They're competed amongst the best one. It's a 120 rider field. Do you know what a hill climb is? Maybe you don't. Right, national championships, 120 riders in the field, the best 120 British riders in that discipline is the idea. And yeah, it's a maximum of 100. Well, it's 120. A hill climb is a time trial. Do you all know what a time trial is? I'm guessing that you do. It's not like a road race. It's not a bunch race. A time trial is where you are set off at 1 minute intervals on your own over a set course or a set distance, and they vary. 5 mile, 10 mile, 25 mile, 50 mile, 100 mile. This is in British terms, by the way. And then you have what's called a 12 and a 24. And they're slightly different. With the 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, then it's simply the fastest time that you can complete the course alone. So, for example, my personal best for a 10 mile time trial, so that's riding 10 miles alone and against the clock. My personal best for a 10 was, I think, 19 minutes and 7 seconds, which is somewhere over 30 miles an hour. My personal best for a 25 was either a short 49 or a long 48, so 48 something or 49 minutes something, again over the 30 mile an hour mark. We won't talk about my personal best for a 50 or 100 because they weren't quite so impressive. I didn't ride many of them. And then you've got something called a 12 and a 24, and they're a slightly different format. So a 12 is a 12-hour time trial. So you simply ride as far as you can in 12 hours over a set circuit course. And a 24 is doing the same thing, riding as far as you can, but in 24 hours. Now, a hill climb is a time trial like that, but it's a very short one and it's up a rather savage hill. And that did not play to my strengths. I'm not a climber. Climbing on a bicycle is all about power to weight ratio. I had lots of power. I also had a bit of weight. My racing weight was about 12 stone, 10 pounds. Now, bear in mind that I'm 6'5" and was carrying a lot of muscle in my legs and lower back. So that basically meant that above the waist, I looked like an emaciated 3-year-old. But I was still no bloody climber. On a really short climb that I could power over, I would be okay. But definitely no climber, not my strength. But you do your bit. You enter the nationals, and so in that, and the Horseshoe Pass was a very unusual hill climb because it was a lot longer than they would normally be. They would normally be on a climb like Dover's in the Cotswolds, or Saintbury, or something like that. So the Horseshoe Pass was a bit of a departure, and everybody had to kind of change tactics a bit because it was a bit too long. And as I say, I think a lot of us rode it on gears as opposed to the normal fixed. And I'm not going to tell you where I came in it. I'm just not going to tell you. Anyway, oh dear. Dicker Dum Dum, says Stephen Isbell. Absolutely. Let's do the Freelander handover tomorrow, says Mustard. Oh, Christ almighty. Really? Really? Oh, bloody hell. Okay. Right. In that case, I need to get up early and get my videos done then, don't I? And I haven't got any milk. Bring milk if you want tea here, or coffee. I haven't got any milk. Gosh. The Freeland handover that we had planned is Mustard will deliver the Freelander, bless him, here to Windy Bum. We will then go back to the Yard of Dreams in the 45 V6, but that will be a video and road test. That will be Captain Mustard road testing the V6. And as he pointed out, it will be he will have given it the longest road test of any YouTuber. And let's face it, every YouTuber has tested that car. JM on Cars has done it. Furious Driving Matt has done it. 00 Garage has done it. Mark on Motoring has done it. Everybody's had their arse in that car. Apart from me, I haven't done an official road test on it yet. But that would be a really good drive for it. So, yeah, I'm up for tomorrow. And that means I'm not going to go on too late tonight because, yes, I need to be compos mentis in the morning. Oh, cool. Miss Boo coming home tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Thursday. Awesome. No, that'll work absolutely fine. Yeah, you come here. We go to the yard. I come back. I go to work. Jobs are good. We'll get some good content. Oh, and I'll get to drive the 45 back over the nice route. The 45 hasn't been to the yard yet. That'll be a fabulous drive for you on the way there and for me on the way back. And Miss Boo will be at home. Oh, lovely. I look forward to that. Oh, maybe we'll even have time for a quick lunch somewhere. That would be even better. Okay, that's all. Just right. Simone's going to bed now. Start saying good night to everybody. It is that time of night. Hello, Ben's just rocked up. Still talking about Qashqais and whatnot. I'm very happy with you lot talking amongst yourselves, by the way. I'm not, but you're talking amongst yourselves. I don't need to read it out, and that means that I can whiz through the comments. Ben says, what's your current racing weight? A freezer full of Momo goes like a grease tub of chutney. I don't know what I weigh at the moment. I mean, I did get really heavy at one point, and then I started work at Sainsbury's, and without changing my diet at all, I lost 6 stone in 6 months working at Sainsbury's, and that was just through physical activity. And I felt so much better that I've never let myself go again. I'm still fat as a pig. I'm still overweight, but I'm nowhere near as bad as I was. I think I'm somewhere about the 14.5 or 15 stone mark, something like that. No doubt already thought of, says Ben, but Offer the staff curry special strategically via social media ads on the quieter days. Thought of indeed. That was why I did it on the Monday, because I knew that we would have no business on that Monday. The beginning of the week is quiet anyway. On Monday, when everybody thinks we're shut, we had no chance. So if we were going to be there to make it worthwhile, I needed to do something. And the staff curry did hit the spot. So yeah, it might become a regular special on Tuesdays, possibly even Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Oh my God, where does time gone, says Sophie? It's 12:12. Indeed. Video, oh, bugger off, cheeseburger. Video title, Miss Boo is coming home. The AA are on standby. Oh, and then people say, oh, right, jolly good. And now everybody's saying good night. Never had an XJ cheeseburger. The missus won't let me. Oh, God, I love an XJ. Oh, I do love an XJ. But the Range Rover is my dream car at the moment. Oh, well, that's exciting, isn't it? What a fabulous night. I've had a triply positive day. I'm feeling really good about everything. And Miss Boo's going to come home tomorrow. I'm going to get to hang out with my bestest matey. We're going to have a lovely road trip. There's going to be good video content and splendid. So you're right, yeah. So I need to get my ass out of bed in the morning. Ping me. Let me know what time you're going to get here. If need be, I'll upload the daily diary while you're driving, actually. Isn't life wonderful? Thank you so much for your company tonight, everybody. Thank you for putting up with me and my well, slightly unusual positivity today. And thank you for just sharing this alleged joy. And on that note, let's let you go to bed. I will go and get my curry sorted, and I will get my head down before 3 a.m. so that I'm up bright and early in the morning, ready for mustard to pop round and the hilarity and joys to begin. And Andrew's just rocked up just as I'm saying good night. I do apologise. Okay, darlings, say your good nights and I will fart you out. All right, darlings, thank you so much again. Have yourselves a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. And please join me again tomorrow night, same time, same place, for Mad Thursday. Fart if you want to go faster. There you go. That's the video title right there. All right, darlings. Good night. Much love from me. And see you next time.